In a world where heroes are often born from adversity, there's a man who stands out, David Goggins. His life was marked by poverty, prejudice, and physical abuse from the very start, leaving him with the slimmest of chances to even live an ordinary life. Imagine growing up in a world where every day was a struggle, and the prospect of a brighter future seemed like a distant dream. This was David Goggins' reality. David Goggins started out as that guy who ran away from everything but became the guy who ran through everything. He has become a beacon of hope and encouragement for many around the world, detailing the extreme hardships he faced and obstacles he overcame in order to become the hardest man that has ever lived. So join us as we unravel the gruesome yet inspirational story of David Goggins. Born in Buffalo, New York, David faced an uphill battle from the start. He grew on a street called Paradise Road, but his life was anything but paradise. His father was an abusive drunk who ran prostitute bars and crime rings. The Goggins family would portray a happy image to the outside world. But the reality of the matter was that David, his mother, and his brother would all get violently abused behind closed doors. The family lived in near constant fear of their father, which resulted in David's whole family packing their bags and leaving with almost nothing in their name. David's challenges wouldn't stop there, as they moved to a small town in Brazil, Indiana, where they would face some of the worst racism imaginable. The town was a cesspool for KKK members, meaning that David would be bullied throughout the rest of his childhood. At school, he also grappled with learning disabilities that made academic success an almost insurmountable hurdle. He was categorized, marginalized, and dismissed. Though after enduring this suffering, David Goggins found a glimmer of hope, a man by the name of Scott Guerin. Scott Guerin was a paratrooper who miraculously survived a 3,000-foot fall. David Goggins was mesmerized by Scott, dubbing him as the real-life Rambo.
I'm sitting, he comes out, and I was amazed by Rambo. Like at a young age, I was like, oh my God, this is the real Rambo. He came out, he had, he got his throat cut open to open up his airway. And so I saw he got trached, and I saw all these different things. I was like, my God, he came out talking all like Clint Eastwood, and he shared the story, and it's all hardcore.
This obsession would lead to David spending a week with Scott, learning firsthand what it takes to be a paratrooper and mentally strong person. This experience would fire up David to go all in on his dreams and accept accountability for the first time in his life. David Goggins would work his ass off, studying for hours on end to pass an ASVAB test in order to join the Air Force.
I have to go over the same page over and over and over and over again.
This hard work would pay off as David Goggins was then submitted into the Pararescue Indoctrination course. However, this excitement would be short-lived as the course was a test of mental and physical endurance. David Goggins would also need to face one of his biggest fears in the process: swimming. The pressure of it all would quite literally drown David's confidence and motivation, resulting in him being dismissed due to medical reasons. By his late teens, David would become obese, struggle with low self-esteem, and begin working a dead-end exterminator job for just $1,000 a month. His life was spiraling into a cycle of despair and hopelessness, gaining over 125 pounds. But David Goggins was not a man to accept defeat. In the face of adversity, he made a decision that would change his life forever. He decided he would no longer be a victim of his circumstances, but rather the master of his own destiny. David Goggins would set his sights on becoming a Navy SEAL, one of the most elite military units in the world. But there was an even more significant obstacle in his path: his weight. He was over 100 pounds above the limit for Navy SEAL trainees. At first, he was hesitant at the idea of losing over 100 pounds within 3 months to be able to qualify for Navy SEAL training. But he only had two options, which were be that guy who sprays cockroaches for the rest of his life, or be the guy that keeps trying to achieve his goals, no matter how hard it gets. He could have easily given up, but instead, he chose to see it as a challenge. He embarked on a rigorous training program, pushing his body to its limits and beyond. In a remarkable display of determination and willpower, David lost those 100 pounds in just 3 months and joined the Navy SEALs. David Goggins' determination, discipline, and transformation didn't just stop at weight loss. No, his sights were set much higher. David Goggins was a man of sheer grit who had a dream to become an elite warrior. But the path to this dream was far from smooth. Goggins had to conquer Hell Week, the most grueling military training known to man, and he had to do this not once, not twice, but 3 times. Yes, you heard it right, 3 times. He faced the brutal physical and psychological demands of Hell Week, where sleep deprivation, hypothermia, and relentless physical exertion are the norms. Each time he fell, he picked himself up, dusted himself off, and plunged back into the fray with unwavering resolve. David would break bones, develop pneumonia, and reach absolute breaking point. But eventually, his perseverance paid off. Goggins donned the coveted Navy SEAL trident, a testament to his resilience and tenacity. He would later describe these hell weeks as the promised land of mental hardening.
The guys going through Hell Week, they're up all day and all night for 130 hours. This is the promised land of mental hardening for me. I love this place.
David was then deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, where his mettle was tested in the crucible of war. In these harsh environments, Goggins earned a reputation as one of the toughest men in the military. His peers saw him as an embodiment of the warrior spirit, a man who refused to bow down no matter the odds. Goggins didn't just survive in these challenging situations. He thrived. He honed his skills, developing an uncanny ability to remain calm and focused under extreme pressure. His experiences in the military hardened him, turning him into a formidable force to be reckoned with. Though on June 28, 2005, David Goggins would lose a number of his comrades and close friends fighting against the Taliban in Afghanistan.
It appears that 17 American soldiers were lost when their helicopter was shot down by enemy fire. The Chinook helicopter was carrying 17 members of a special operations unit into an operation against al-Qaeda and Taliban fighters in the rugged mountains near the border with Pakistan when a second helicopter reported seeing an explosion.
David Goggins wanted to help the families of those that were affected, so he began raising money for veteran foundations by accomplishing crazy feats. Imagine a marathon, and now picture running more than 5 of them, back to back, through the scorching heat of Death Valley. This ultramarathon is known as the Badwater 135 and is considered the world's toughest foot race. Craziest part of it all was that Goggins didn't just participate, he completed it. And this was not a one-off feat. Goggins plunged himself into the world of ultra-endurance races, pushing his body to limits few can fathom. He ran 100 miles in less than 19 hours, without any prior preparation, and he took on the Herculean challenge of breaking the world record for the most pull-ups in 24 hours. After 2 failed attempts, with torn hands and a body screaming for mercy, Goggins triumphed on his 3rd try, completing an astonishing 4,030 pull-ups. Yet Goggins' feats were not about personal glory, but for charity. He raised funds for the Special Operations Warrior Foundation, turning his pain into a purpose that reached far beyond his own achievements. He lived this philosophy, using his body as a vessel to explore the boundaries of human potential. His journey into ultra-endurance was not just about the races he ran or the records he broke. It was about redefining what the human body and spirit can endure. With each race, each record, Goggins was pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Goggins' stories had made him a hero, but his words made him an inspiration. Through his relentless spirit, he became an emblem of resilience, but it was his unabashed honesty and raw wisdom that truly resonated with people around the globe. He took his experiences and insights, and through the power of storytelling, he became a beacon of hope and inspiration. As a motivational speaker, he echoes the lessons learned from his own life. His speeches are filled with nuggets of wisdom, each one a testament to his journey. He speaks of the power of suffering, not as a tormentor, but as a teacher. He believes in embracing pain, in harnessing it to forge an unbreakable mental toughness. His words are not sugar-coated, they are as raw and real as the man himself. His book, Can't Hurt Me, is a testament to this belief. It's not just a memoir, but a guidebook for anyone who's ever felt beaten down by life. It's a call to challenge the status quo, to push past the boundaries of what we think is possible. Each chapter is a lesson, each page a challenge to confront our own fears and insecurities. But the power of his words doesn't end on the pages of his book or in the echoes of his speeches. His influence extends far beyond that. He's inspired countless people from all walks of life to confront their own adversities. From everyday people battling their personal demons, to athletes pushing their physical limits, to entrepreneurs navigating the cutthroat world of business, his words have sparked a fire in hearts worldwide. David Goggins, the man who rose from suffering to inspire the world, reminds us that the only limits we have are the ones we place on ourselves. His story is a testament to the power of the human spirit, and his words, a reminder that no matter how hard life hits, we can always hit back harder. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Who would you like to see next? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay quixotic.